Dear watcher, my name is Marcel Bronner. I'm working for EMC as a V specialist. In this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to integrate File Management Appliance into a productive environment. The File Management Appliance is referred to as FMA later on. This is the first tutorial of a series of 5. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to install and set up FMA. The idea behind FMA is to reclaim expensive primary storage and move files to a lower cost tier whilst keeping total transparency for the client that accesses those files. It helps your IT department to not only reclaim primary storage but also reduce backup windows. FMA provides you with a multi-tier platform support. As primary storage, EMC supports both EMC Celerra and NetApp fast systems. Target secondary or tertiary tier platforms are Celerra, Celerra Atmos and Data Domain, all of which are EMC platforms except for NetApp Fast and Windows, that's also supported as targets. FMA preserves feature-rich NAS functionality and provides a rich policy engine to manage files across multiple tiers. Let's see how I deploy FMA Virtual Edition on a virtual infrastructure on vSphere ESX server. I'm going to browse for my file, which is the .ovf file FMAVE trials 731.ovf. I open it and hit next. It's going to consume me 20 GB of hard disk space. I'm going to choose my data center, the ESX server I want to have it installed on, and an appropriate resource pool to put it in, a data store to install the files on, and I make sure that I choose the right network. And I hit finish and the template will be deployed. This is a fast-forwarded process. After successful deployment, I start up FMAVE for the first time. I log in with the name root and the password rain. First, I'm configuring date and time. I check the appropriate settings of the date and I configure the time zone. If you need help, hit question mark to get all your time zones. Time zones will need a reboot afterwards. Next up, I'm going to configure my network. I have only one network interface available. This is ETH0. Going to give it an IP address. Put in the appropriate network mask. I keep the MTU and duplex settings at its default. I'm going to change the speed to 1 gigabit Ethernet and hit escape in order to have my configuration saved. I hit the S button again for save and the Q button to quit. The network interface will be restarted. Next, I'm going to configure hostname, domain and DNS server. I give my FMAVE a hostname, put it in the correct domain and point it to my DNS server. You can have multiple DNS servers, however. I'm going to configure NTP, Network Time Protocol, and point it to my NTP server. Again, you can have multiple NTP servers. Now, I'm going to test whether the interface is working or not by simply pinging it. It responds. Then I RDP into my domain controller in order to set up DNS. I select my domain and add a new host. I configure for both forward lookup and reverse lookup. After my host has been successfully added, I'm going to check it with NSLOOKUP. It works. I'm going back to my FMA command line interface and I hit exclamation mark in order to leave the menu and reboot the systems in order for the time zone settings to take effect. This concludes the first part of the video tutorial for FMA. Thank you very much for your attention. Goodbye.